When we look at the lives of our Gurudeva and Paramgurus and their great disciples, Dayamataji and the others, and we see the joy, we see the peace, we see that great balance and harmony that they manifest. Naturally we want to ask, where can I find that balance? Where can I find that balance? And there's one answer that Guruji gave that's more important than all the others. And it may be surprising to some, but here it is. Where can I find that balance? In the spiritual eye. Right here in the spiritual eye. Now, I want to spend just a moment talking about this because it's such an important point for those of us who are building our lives around the teachings of YSS and SRF, the teachings of Paramahansa Yoganandaji. And here's the point. We can learn the outer aspects of balanced living from many sources, many popular books or influencers or self-help teachers. And yes, that outer approach to balancing our lives is very valuable. It has great utility. Schedule our lives. Make time for a meditation routine and spiritual study each day. Schedule a time for a period of introspection, of self-analysis each day. Make time and follow a schedule, a healthful routine of physical exercise and diet and the other health practices. These are all the outer approaches to achieving a balanced life. And they're very good. They're very helpful. But here's what I want to impress on you. They are only partially effective. And they're nowhere near as powerful as when they are combined with the inner approach to balance. These outer practices are good and valuable, but the inner approach is what yoga teaches. The inner approach means this. It means to achieve balance not from the outside in, but from the inside out. Not from the outside in, but from the inside out. Yoga teaches, for instance, that the supreme source of balance in our lives, supreme source of balance in the cosmos, is the attunement we can find with that great Om vibration, with that great divine cosmic vibration. And we do that, as I said a minute ago, we do that one powerful way is by centering our consciousness in the Kutastha, in the spiritual eye. How often we used to hear our revered Dayamataji telling us over and over again about times in her life when, especially in the later years, when Guruji was giving her more and more responsibility for running the organization and all of the administrative issues and problems and the bills to be paid and the financial and everything that goes along with a big organization, he was gradually putting on her shoulders. And so often she would go to him just really almost at her wit's end about not knowing, what do I do about this and what do I do about that? And she would run to Guruji, hoping for an opportunity to itemize all of the difficulties for him so that he could give her the solution. But before she could even start to do that, what did he say? He would just look at her and say, just sit down and meditate. Sit down and meditate. Or he would say, just keep your mind here at the spiritual eye, at the Kutastha center. And to her great and lasting glory, I would say, an example for all of us, she took that lesson to heart and she became the Sangamata. She became that example of balance and poise. And I remember one time she said this to us about that training that Guruji gave to her, where he refused to be drawn down to the level of those outer issues and was training her to lift her consciousness to the higher level where they could be addressed. And she said, without that training, today I would just be another harried businesswoman. So let us find that balance from within and bring it into our outer lives. Let us bathe the consciousness in the spiritual eye. You know, you can feel in a physical sense when you bathe in water how that brings relaxation in the body by balancing the life forces. Well, in the same way, my dears, bathing in the spiritual eye balances the entire consciousness. That's what the SRF and YSS techniques, especially Kriya Yoga, will do for us.